News Now is brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, Docomo Pacific, island-wide, worldwide, the choice is clear. And Micronesia Renewable Energy. Go solar for zero money down. From the Pacific News Center in Hagåtña, Guam, here's Clint Ridgett and Janella Carrera with Betsy Brown and Roselle Romanes. PNC Sports with Blake Watson and Weather with Rebecca Kim. With your news now.
Off day and good evening, and thanks for tuning to Pacific News Center's News Now. I'm Clint Ridgett.
And I'm Janella Carrera. Thanks for tuning in. Your top story tonight: 2 men were arrested following a robbery, car theft, and shooting involving police officers early this morning. PNC's Roselle Romanes has the story.
What started off as a robbery at 3:30 this morning turned into a police chase that involved shooting. GPD spokesman Officer AJ Balahaja says 2 men robbed the Days Inn in Tamuning and made off with a front desk clerk's car.
The front desk was robbed of an undetermined amount of cash as well as his vehicle.
After a chase, police arrested Irvin Muñoz White III, 35 from Jigo, and Tommy Kichichu Afaisen, 38 from Dededo. During the chase, Balahaja says shots were fired at pursuing officers.
They heard about 3 shots and continued to follow at a distance.
The 2 suspects then fled to the old GMH property where they were trapped for several hours while SWAT, K-9 units, and police searched for them. Balahaj says they swept the jungle to push Afaisen and White toward the cliff line, where they were later apprehended. He also tells us over 50 officers were involved in apprehending the 2 men.
Afaisen was located in a house that was under construction in a bathroom by Criminal Justice Strike Force, and Harbor and Patrol were able to locate the individual that White actually on the cliff line.
Archbishop Luke from Chilean San Antonio and Ipao Beach Road were closed for the search and have been reopened. St. Anthony Catholic School was on lockdown while the suspects were at large. Balhaja says no one was injured in the robbery or shooting. Afaisen and White were charged with attempted murder, robbery, assault on a police officer, burglary, terrorizing, reckless conduct, resisting arrest, and conspiracy. Roselle Romanes, PNC News.
Both Afaisen and White have prior criminal records.
The Mayor's Council says that the Tiz-In Casino is closed, but today its air conditioning unit was running and we found a man inside who said he was watching the place. Meanwhile, the public auditor says she will audit the casino and the Liberation Carnival whether or not the casino is still open.
Mayor's Council Vice President Robert Hoffman says they have opted to close down the Tiz-In Casino while they clarify any questions there may be about the validity of the casino. But when we went there today, we noticed that the aircon was on, and in fact, an elderly Chinese man was inside.
Close?
Close.
What, why are you here?
I'm watching here.
You're watching
Yeah.
place? Oh. Who you work for?
Huh?
Who are you working for?
No more working.
No more working?
No more working.
So you just watch the place?
Huh?
You live here?
What?
You stay here? You
Yeah.
live here?
Yeah.
You sleep here?
Yeah.
For what?
Huh?
Why?
Close. I watching this. They got everything they got. No more.
You work for Mayor's Council or
Huh?
for mayors? For the mayors? Do you work for the Mayor's Council or someone else?
I don't know.
What's the name of your boss?
This plenty was.
Plenty Boss?
This is the same man who PNC found here weeks ago when the casino was still in operation. Hoffman says he is the father-in-law of one of the Chinese vendors at the carnival. Hoffman says the man is simply watching the area to prevent vandalism and theft. Whether or not the Tiz-In Casino is closed, Public Auditor Doris Flores Brooks says she will audit the place.
Now there's reports that the Tiz-In Casino is closed. Will that stop anything?
Definitely not. It's still an ongoing activity. Just because an activity has stopped doesn't mean, was the activity correct? Was it proper? Was it duly authorized? That doesn't change the issue.
The public auditor also wants to see an audit of the 2013 carnival.
The Liberation Carnival itself, you were auditing
It's supposed to be annually audited.
and you haven't been able to do 2013.
Well, they had contracted it out, and they had told us we were going to get it, but we have yet to receive it.
Hoffman says that the audit for 2013 is complete and has been turned into the Department of Rev and Tax. The public auditor typically audits the use of public funds, and in this case, the funds are all tied to a nonprofit organization started by the Mayor's Council of Guam called the Guam Liberation Historical Society.
Normally, this would not be looked at in the financial audit, but from a compliance point of view, we would want to look at.
The public auditor explains that they want to look at whether or not the gaming laws are being complied with and whether or not the winners are being taxed properly.
Mayor Hoffman says that the Mayor's Council has followed all of the regulations, and he believes they had every right to operate the Tizon Casino to raise funds for their nonprofit organization. He says they've turned in their annual reports and audits, and he adds that they hope to meet with the governor soon to clear up any confusion that there may be about the Tizon Casino, a casino that Hoffman says has been operating properly under the laws of Guam.
Human remains have been found in the Taragi area where an airman went missing earlier this week, but the search for 23-year-old Alec Dye continues. Anderson Air Force Base Public Affairs Officer for the 36th Wing, Captain Joelle Banjo Johnson, told PNC the remains were found on the shore of Taragi Beach this morning. She added that the search for Dye will continue while the remains are still being identified. The remains were recovered at about 2 a.m. by Anderson security forces patrolling the vicinity. Rescue personnel and volunteers have been searching the area for Airman Alec Dye since Monday. Dye was reported missing early Monday morning after he was last believed to be in the waters off Taragi Beach. Medical examiner Dr. Aurelio Espinola told PNC an autopsy will likely be conducted on the remains tomorrow.
Meanwhile, the medical examiner has determined that a man pulled from the waters near the Outrigger Hotel this week died of a near drowning. The man, a Japanese tourist reported to be in his 50s, was taken to the Guam Royal Hospital on Tuesday, where he was listed in critical condition. He passed away the following morning. Guam Fire Department units were called to an apparent drowning at the Outrigger Hotel at 3:35 p.m. on Tuesday. Life-saving efforts had already begun by the time firefighters arrived, according to GFD Public Information Officer Ed Artero. Espinola said there was no sign of a heart attack.
And staying true to his word, John Toves, the man accusing Archbishop Anthony Apron of sexually molesting a relative, went to the Chancery office today to confront Archbishop Apron, but he met instead with the Archdiocese Sexual Abuse Response Coordinator, Deacon Larry Claros, who defended the Archbishop. Here's a look at how it all went down.
I have no financial gains to make. I welcome him to sue me and take my house.
John Toves has opened a can of worms by publicly accusing Archbishop Anthony Apron of sexual abuse, but some have questioned his motives. For one, Toves says he's not the victim, it's his relative. This may be a very personal question, but have you yourself ever been a victim of sexual abuse?
No.
Toves believes the silence has to do with the Chamorro culture.
Unfortunately, our culture is not permitting them to come forward without retribution from some other party.
He's here now on island hoping to confront the Archbishop directly. Toves has two goals. The first is for two of the Archbishop's perceived adversaries, Monsignor James Beneventi and Father Paul Goffigan, to be reinstated to their previous positions, and for the Archbishop to step down.
I know that's what you expect, but
I don't think he's going to do it. John, Toves, Adrian, Cristobal.
Yes.
Mamalikat?
Mamalikat, Zago?
Malik. Good. Listo Archbishop?
Actually, the Archbishop is not available today.
Mm-hmm.
He's fully booked.
While I'm here, do you think I can meet with Deacon Larry Claros?
John Toves is here at the Chancery office in Hagåtña. He was looking to meet with the Archbishop. However, the Archbishop is not available to meet with him. Deacon Larry Claros stepped out, and they are now in a meeting. The meeting lasted just a few minutes. When Deacon Clara stepped out, this is what he had to say.
These allegations against the Archbishop, they're very serious, of course. So therefore, we'll just go ahead and let the Spirit will eventually put an end to this. However, I do believe and very confident that truth will prevail.
You believe the Archbishop is innocent?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You believe he's innocent, yet you're investigating these allegations.
There's no investigation.
So what is your role here then?
I am the SARC, S-A-R-C. Pardon me?
Nothing, I talked.
No, you didn't.
I was clearing my throat.
And the committee is looking more where's the victim, so that because of our policy, it is the welfare of the victim that needs to be attended first and foremost.
You can tell how ill set up this supposed mechanism is, and most notably, his words, it's not an investigation.
What should be the setup? Should they have an independent?
He's supposed to be the independent person. Their claim is that he is the independent role, but yet he's speaking for the Archbishop.
Meanwhile, the Archdiocese issued a statement this afternoon saying that they are adhering to their sexual abuse policy and that pursuant to this policy, Tobus's complaint is currently under review.
All right, well, let's see what's ahead on News Now.
Are you wondering why there's no Christmas Village in Tumon this year? We talked with Josh Chikenko from GVB to find out what he has to say.
Tune into News Now to find out the answer after the break.